Folks, here we are again. Ashley, in her last video with pancakes, said that she was going, or we said that we were going to make cookies, the peanut butter cookies, and we found out that those Betty Crocker ones have whey in them, so they're not dairy-free. So what we're going to show you how to make today is chocolate chip cookies. We have 3 different pans to see what gives out the best results. We have an air bake pan. This is a stone pan, and then this is just like a regular Farberware pan. Those that are dairy-free, I was excited to find 2 sticks of butter in one of our local stores. It's called White Rose, and it's dairy-free butter. Primarily because it's made of vegetable oil, and it's not great ingredients because of the hydrogenated soybean oil. But when you're making cookies, cookies aren't good for you anyway. I guess they could be, and sometimes we make them that way, but we're going to just use it anyway for today. Again, we have the local chocolate chips that don't have any dairy in it. It just has sugar, chocolate liquor, cocoa butter, dextrose, lecithin, and vanilla, which is fantastic as far as not chemicals. And obviously all of our chocolate chip cookie ingredients. We have the stuff over here because you have to do them in 2 separate bowls to start. And I just wanted to show you a little trick that we do because these are our common ingredients that we use and stuff. So I cut it out and I put it on the door, and it makes it very simple to reference to. You don't have to look it up in any sort of book or anything. You just open the door and there it is. I don't have a lot of them. I'm going to take a picture of this for you and post it, hopefully. And I also wanted to just show you kind of how we organize our cabinet here. I label with a labeler, and because we have, like, most of this stuff comes in bags and it makes it awkward to store, I'll label stuff, and that's what it should look like if you label it. And then you can, this one is actually erasable, and so you can change it out. I got that from what's called Uppercase Living, and this is peelable, that sort of thing. But it's like a chalkboard type of material, and you use chalk on it or liquid chalk. So, first thing we're going to do, we already did the flour, 2 1/4 cup. Now, with this recipe and the butter, we always add a 1/4 cup extra from what Nestle Tollhouse, wants you to make. And we do baking soda first. We do a teaspoon. But the reason I add a 1/4 cup, 1/4 cup extra flour is because I was finding with this sort of butter, they were coming out kind of flat. No, just one. And then next we do a thing of salt. And whenever you pour your ingredients, don't pour it over your flour. Pour it over something else. And we have this little tray over here that we use just to keep all of our dirty stuff, just to kind of keep it consolidated and together. So she's pouring it, great. She's pouring it over the old flour cup, so in case she spills like she did, it just goes in the cup or on the tray. And then always scrape with the flat side of the knife and put it in your dry ingredients. And next, after we do that, then you're going to just stir it with a spoon. And we'll just move over here to the next set of ingredients, which is the butter that we just showed you. So go ahead and take the butter out. We're just going to stir. And she's going to take the butter out. You want 2 sticks of butter. Again, I add a 1/4 cup extra flour just to keep it from being mushy. So we're going to do butter. Then next we have 3/4 cup of sugar. I like to use, well, actually I got a mixture of raw sugar, which is a little bit better than refined sugar for you. But I just mixed it in here. You can see it has a little bit of a tan look. It's because they process that white sugar to get it to look white. It should look tan before it's actually messed with. Alright, so we're going to get 3/4 cup of sugar. And it doesn't always fill up on the first scoop, so you use a little assistant scooper, which I found fantastic to buy for the kids and for myself. Fill that up. And then she's going to scrape it with the back of the knife. Good, and then dump it in. Then we're going to do the same thing with the brown sugar. And a little secret for the brown sugar is I put a piece of bread. I usually put the end piece of bread in there. I don't know if you can tell if it's even in there. And what that does is it keeps that brown sugar moist. Because what I've found is if I don't put brown sugar, a piece of bread in there, that brown sugar gets really hard. So if you've had brown sugar that's gotten hard and you've had to throw it away or take a hammer to it to get it to work, just throw the end of a loaf of bread in there. And it'll keep it moist. So brown sugar is a little different from white sugar. You gotta pack it down when you're measuring it. Pack it down with your spoon. Alright, see how that's squished down? So now she has to add more until it comes all the way to the top. It's a little tricky. I'm going to pause until we get that done. Okay, so there is the brown sugar flattened off as best we can with the spoon. Go ahead and dump that in. And the next thing you're going to do is beat that. Alright, until creamy. Now, you don't want to add the eggs until you beat this butter and the sugar. Alright, so I'm going to beat it. Till you get that consistency. It's supposed to be creamy, but I mean, that's about as creamy as I ever see that it goes to. So now you're going to beat one egg at a time. And now it gets creamy. This one. Can you do that? So they can see. Alright, I'm going to beat one more. Okay, so we forgot to put the vanilla in prior to beating. So we're going to put the vanilla in right now. And one thing I wanted to mention about the beating is that, is that,
1 scoop or 2?
Just one teaspoon, is that make sure you beat it enough. I've learned over the years with baking that I have had always previously beat it too little, and the more you beat like cakes and different things like that, the fluffier it gets because of the eggs in it. Now pancakes, you don't want to beat as much. Alright, I'm going to pause it and get ready for the next step. Alright, we're ready to mix the flour, the dry ingredients, with the wet ingredients, and you do a little bit at a time. I'm going to turn the beater on. You can see how the process goes. Next is 1 cup of chocolate chips, and we're soon done. Okay, and pour them in there. We're going to mix them again at a higher speed because it's getting thick. Okay, and that's good and mixed. And if you want to add nuts to it, you could add nuts to it. I like to. Walnuts. Parts is what do you do now? You got beaters full of goop. Cookie dough, yum. I could eat all of that, but you're not supposed to because of salmonella and eggs. But you just gradually turn this on and let it spin off, and some of it flies on the wall or on you. Now, again, in the last video, we told you our secret to making things even, and we use a scooper. And that way they'll be pretty uniform. So we're going to do a little experiment, see which tray works the best for cookies, chocolate chip cookies. Once we get these patterned out and put on each tray, I'll resume recording. And so suddenly you'll see all these trays filled up. Okay, there we have all of our cookie trays filled up. Just so you know, Ashley's 11, and she did that all on her own just by using that scooper. And you can see that they're pretty uniform. I'm going to put them in the oven, and when I get them out, the Nestle Tollhouse says cook them from 9 to 11 minutes. And what we're going to find out is at 11 minutes, I'm going to do it for 11 minutes, which cookie tray brings out the nicest cookies. The dark Farberware, the stoneware from Pampered Chef, or the Air Bake. We'll be back. Okay, so it's been 11 minutes in 1 second. Alright, I had it at 375. I have a Whirlpool steam clean convection oven, which I love. And I just checked. I checked them. Let me see what they look like. They did not look done. So I am going to let them cook for, I always do it about 2 more minutes and see what happens. Okay, it's been another 2 minutes, and I'm going to get them out because it's been 13 minutes and the recipe calls for 9 to 11 to see kind of what they look like. Alright, so you get an idea of what the different trays do. This one seems like they're done pretty evenly. The back ones, the ones that were in the back of the oven, got done a little bit more. The stoneware, they don't even look like they're done yet. And that might be a good thing because they'll be nice and soft. And down here, the Farberware, for some reason, they all have mushed together. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. So there you have our chocolate chip cookies.